Another fucking WA.
Are we off or are we on?
I don't know.
Who
We're
knows?
one of the two.
Who knows? Either way.
We pretty much got to move to WA at this point as well.
I know.
Because every fucking interview we do, and they're 2.5 hours behind. So it's like
it's midnight here now.
In SA while we talk to these guys, while the sun's still up, as you can see in the back of Matt's car.
Yeah.
Well and truly down here.
Who was the last first band you guys did?
We did Patient 67.
Yeah. And we did a comedian.
And we did a
actually.
comedian from Perth as well. So it's not that many really, but
yeah, either way, this week we are joined by Perth boys Sedative. So thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So we got Matt, the vocalist. We got the both guitarists. Are you who's lead? Who's not lead? You're both just leading it up.
Bit of each. We do leads and rhythms, both of us.
Yeah,
Who's
okay.
the better guitarist? No.
Nah, Saggy. Like Saggy sounds like a rhythm guitarist name though.
Yeah, it does.
For sure.
The Mo and name combo is the fucking most rhythm guitarist shit of all time. But
100%.
Yeah, bassist that got upgraded to rhythm guitarist.
No, I don't own a bass, but I mean, I pretty much do. I do have the 8-string Ormsby here, which is kind of the same thing, really.
Oh, so you're the one that played the Ormsby. Yeah. We actually pointed that out in the interaction because I've got
I did see that.
Well. Yeah, fucking good guitars,
good stuff for sure.
They just look fucking sick as well.
Yeah, I love the
which is the reason I bought it, to be honest.
Yeah, fucking oath.
The fish hook fucking end on it is.
Oh yeah, you could catch a fucking big shark with that.
A riff shark. So boys, obviously we just really want to dive in and have a little chat about your own sort of musical journeys that have led you to the absolute fucking heavy monstrosity that is Sedative. So whoever wants to jump in first, tell me where it all began. Did you pick up a guitar when you were 7? What's sort of your history with music that's led you to this point?
You talking about like on individual levels, or
on individual levels?
We want to know. We want to unpack the band, my man. So we got 7 hours to play with here, so we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Nah.
Man, I've been playing in bands since I was 15.
Fuck yeah.
I played drums for the first 10 years of my musical career.
Okay.
And I've been playing drums since I was about 8 years old, and I'm a bit too much of an egotistical flog, so I decided to be a vocalist.
Classic
and
vocalist.
also just got tired of carting that shit around as well.
Oh, bro, I did my time carting drums in and out. I don't do fuck all now.
Now it's like carting the...
So much easier to put the mic back in a
carting the microphone around's enough now.
Down, bro, I'm carrying my phone, and that's about it, my dog.
That's so good. And so any nameworthy bands that you were in before Sedative?
Well, actually, to attribute as part of the band's journey, Raph and I have actually kind of been in bands together for probably about over 10 years now. Raph and I have been playing together, and one of our more prominent ventures into music was a band called Winterfold, which was early 2010s kind of melodic hardcore. We did a fair run around Australia here and there, and had a decent following behind us. Yeah,
fucking oath. Winterfold, hey?
Yeah, Winterfold.
Winterfold.
Yeah.
Oh, killer.
Yeah.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Fucking oath. What about you, Saggy? Was it Soggy?
Nah, so
Saggy.
My first band was Sedative.
Okay.
So I joined the band, it would have been around March, I reckon.
Yep.
And then, straight into it.
Yeah, Scott's first show in a performing live band ever was on tour in Brisbane.
No shit.
Dude.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And it was a great show.
How'd you go stage presence wise and shit? Because that shit's not easy. You don't just...
It's not easy.
Yeah.
No, you killed it.
But it was relatively natural, to be honest. When the crowd goes as hard as they do, especially over in Brisbane and that kind of thing, some of our friends that are over there, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
of course, yeah.
And so obviously, what's your journey with the guitar then? How long have you been playing for? How did you pick it up?
I'd say it's only been a 3 or 4 year thing, to be honest.
Fuck yeah, that gives me hope, man, because I've been telling this motherfucker that he's going to start teaching me guitar. I was a drummer, very average drummer for a few years, but never in any bands, but I've always said I want to learn how to play guitar. But the mountain of it has always kind of stopped me. But you're saying 3 or 4 years, and maybe I've got
the thing is, you join a band we only play 4 frets.
Yeah. And one of those frets is an open string, which is the most played
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, zeros and ones. That's
Zeros
the
and
way to
ones.
do it.
Technical shit here, my dog.
What about you, Raf? What's your journey kind of been like around music and bands? Obviously, you've played with you with Matt, but
Yeah, no, pretty similar story to Matt. I've been playing for like 10 plus years in bands in Perth. First picked up a guitar when I was maybe 14 or so. I played a bit of piano before that, and then played acoustic guitar, and then jumped on electric guitar. Our first band was It All Ends Here.
yeah,
We played some HQ shows back in the day, back when like Savior and Make Them Suffer were just getting started.
yeah,
Like,
no shit.
Over 10 years ago. And then, played with Matt in Winterfold
Yep.
for a while. And then we're in some other smaller bands together. And
Raph and I have been
End
in
up in-
about like 5 bands together.
Fuck
Wow.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
right.
awesome.
a few different styles as well.
Yeah.
We
So
had
what
a bit of
kind of
like
styles were you going through? Were they always heavy, or did you go pop punk, or what was
No,
that?
not at all. We played like emo music at one point.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like Winterfold was like melodic hardcore. We played straight up like emo music in a band called Closet Space.
Oh, that's a
played-
fucking emo name.
That is
as
such
well.
a good fucking emo band name. dude.
We played like hardcore in a band called Left Face that Raph was in for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We played in
band.
like the predecessor to Sedative, which was called Grenade Rain, which is just like a little bit heavier, more metalcore kind of thing. We've done it all together, man.
Grenade Rain kind of reminds me of Acacia Strain.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Yeah.
Similar vibe.
Similar vibe? Yeah, okay.
Just all that heavy.
And so who are we missing tonight? Who's not here?
You got Ryan on the bass.
Yep.
He's around here somewhere, but not on the call. And then Nathan on drums as well.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And are they like have they from any of the former bands as well? How did they come into the fold to make up
Yeah,
Sedative?
so Ryan, Raffi, and I have been playing together for probably about 4 years together.
Yeah.
Together now.
Yeah.
Ryan was in Grenade Rain with Raffi and I, and our drummer Nathan joined Grenade Rain towards the very end of it. So he's been like obviously tailed on from Grenade Rain to Sedative. But yeah, pretty like Ryan, Raffi, and I have been like a pretty core unit for a good amount of years now.
Yeah, that's
okay,
awesome, man.
interesting. So do you feel like then, now that Sedative is kind of going, that you've still got elements from Grenade Rain? Or is it
Very much so. Yeah,
Yeah?
I mean, it's like, the idea from Grenade Rain was to be stupidly heavy, and I think we've just kind of actually achieved that correctly this time now that we're in Sedative. Like, we kind of just started again. We just wanted to fucking completely rebrand, fresh start ourselves, give ourselves a complete clean slate from Grenade Rain, and I think we kind of achieved what we actually wanted to achieve from the start with Sedative instead of kind of fumbling around for a little while.
You do have a. I guess we might as well just dive a little bit more into Sedative now. But we talked about this on the reaction. Like, you guys aren't one dimensional though in any way. In that, I picked out when I first checked you guys out, and Ramilda Vane picked it as one of my song of the weeks a few weeks ago.
I did see that. Yeah, no.
But that's very different than the one we did the reaction for. Like, in terms of the song. So
bit more deathcore, bit more upbeat and fast paced.
Yeah. So I think that's is that something that you guys are trying to keep yourself a little bit free in terms of the sound of the band and not kind of pigeonhole yourself to that sound?
I think honestly the goal of this band is to be the heaviest band in Australia.
Right.
Wow, okay.
In whatever way that takes shape, that's all we're trying to be, is just like every now and then we hear it from someone from like a decent point of view that we're like referred to as one of the heaviest bands in the show. That's all I want, man. That's all we're trying to do.
fucking oath. So
I
in terms of
keep people guessing a bit as well.
chuck
Chuck some
fucking
different
oath.
songs in there, some blast beats, and you'll notice on Death Romantic there's a couple different songs in there as well that don't quite match the other ones, but I like to keep it a bit different sometimes.
Yeah, and you got to test the waters, because it's like, what? How many songs in total have you released now?
Ooh, I think we're at 11.
Yeah.
Think it was 11.
Yeah, so basically an
Something
album's
like that.
worth, really. So you're kind of still just testing the waters and finding out where you guys want to be as a band and where the future kind of goes in terms of that sound.
Yes and no. I think we've tested the waters a fair fucking bit over the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to have that. It's good to have that experience though, and not have just been, say, one-dimensional in the bands that you've been in, trying to create the same sound over and over again. It's probably
For
good
sure.
that. Hey, every now and then you need an emo chorus in amongst the absolute fucking 0 and 1 chaos, right? You know.
I think these days with the position we're in, we're pretty direct and on the same page in what we're trying to do as a band, and I think not to be arrogant, I think we're kind of nailing that at the moment. You know, we're definitely doing what we want to do. You know.
Yeah, and look, there's a short the thing is that we need bands that still want to just go out there and be heavy as fuck. So we talked at the top.
Bands these days that want to appeal to the greater crowd and put cleans in and shit, and no, I don't got time for that. You know.
And whilst I'm fucking mosh retired, I still get so excited about a band that I know is just gonna fucking have windmill kicks flying left, right, and center around the room. Like,
They've pulled a number of people out of mosh retirement though. So
yeah, well, there you go.
Might have to get down to the show.
See you guys down in Adelaide. I'll fucking get a hip replacement. And
We'd love to see it.
But that's you need that, man. You can't have every band just just trying to create something that's gonna go big with the masses. When the reason that we love this shit, like we said, the Parkway's emergence and these bands, Thy Art Is Murder, these bands that got that initial size, make them suffer. Another good example, they were heavy as fuck. Like, that's what drew them. That initial cult following is not because it was fucking radio friendly. It was because it was fucking brutal. That's what.
But I think on the other side of the coin, unfortunately, that is kind of what you do see a lot of today, is like trend hopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a band like. Perfect example is Alpha Wolf blew up doing Alpha Wolf, you know what I mean? Doing the screeches and the different approach to lyricism and shit like that, and the aesthetic that they put across.
Yeah.
And for the next fucking 2 or 3 years, everyone just Alpha Wolf themselves, you know what I mean? It's such a trend hoppy culture. We really try and stay true to what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And disregard the trends, you know what I mean? Just actually commit to just being stupid fucking heavy, and that's all we want to do.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is then start this band, put all this time and effort into it, and then not be true to yourselves and what you actually want to be, and just sit and just make music for the sake of trying to get a few more thousand players. You know?
Bro, so many new bands I see these days. Every new band that comes out, they put a song out, and you could change their name to fucking Dealer or fucking Alpha Wolf, and it would fit in perfectly because they're just emulating what's been done before, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And how many other bands are playing music that is that fucking heavy with Kappa tracksuits on? That's what I want.
It's picked up on it.
And the fucking Gengar.
I was waiting for you to realize that it wasn't just Ryan after seeing that in the reaction video.
Yes.
I was waiting for you to go back and look at every video and photo we've ever done.
And it's just, where are you even getting Kappa these days, man? That's the is that?
It is.
From Sabres, bro. They got the fucking Sabres Kappa section locked down. Anything that comes in, they're fucking give it here straight away.
The band's touring and fucking they're going to every op shop in the fucking city and just clearing out.
That's what our tours consist of. That's the only reason
being in this band is such an expensive venture, bro.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Keeping fresh Kappa clothes for everything we do.
You're never wearing the same outfit twice.
Oh, dude, look at all our videos. Most of the time, we're actually wearing something different, and that's actually such a flex.
Has there been snap pants yet? Have you fucking unleashed the fucking Kappa snaps?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, that's amazing. We did give a lot of love to the Gengar bucket hat.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
For real. So many people message us about that shit. I don't know why that in particular grabs on to people, but it's cool.
Don't know.
I think it's just it's a bucket hat, and on its own it looks cool. And then if you don't realize it's Gengar's, it already looks fucking cool. And then when
you don't realize straight away.
No,
that's right. You're just that bucket hat fucking is cool, and then you're like, is that fucking Gengar? I guess it's not a Pokemon that's
yeah, it's
not a mainstream. You're not out here with fucking Blastoise on here, he's not in everyone's top 6, Gengar. So when you see him on the fucking bucket hat,
he's deep into the lore.
He's dream eating every motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This motherfucker.
So in terms of your individual influences, then I wouldn't mind just kind of getting a bit of a background on each of you individually when it comes to what really influences you to make such heavy music.
Someone else go first.
Go on, Raph, you go first.
Yeah, I started out with my heavy journey probably started out with like Slipknot and kind of bands like that, and then Parkway Drive was the one that really brought me into that core world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bands like that, As LA Dying, Killswitch Engage, all that kind of thing. Then it's kind of slowly developed into more deathcore side of things.
Yeah.
Start is Murder, Suicide Silence, all of that.
Yeah.
And then Slam kind of started to get into my interest a bit as well, within Destruction, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now I'm just at this stage where I just want to make heavy music, stuff that I enjoy playing live, and I can kind of do spinnies on stage with.
Yeah. Fucking oath.
Make fun music.
Fucking
Fuck
oath.
yeah, man. That's awesome. What about you, Scott?
So, bands that really mean a lot for me at the moment would probably be, I'm just trying to think. Who am I? So, like, Acacia Strain is a band that I've loved and followed for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we go back in history, bands that I always loved were like In Heart's Wake around the Divination
Fuck yeah.
era, and then North Lane and everything like that.
We were literally just talking about that album. We did a react before we jumped on here. We were talking about Departure.
Yeah, the Winston.
I was listening to that album today, waiting for this
Wow.
10-year.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where is that, boys?
We've been because I went and saw them maybe like 3 weeks ago down here in Adelaide, and didn't play a single song from that album, man.
Yeah.
Which is just
Yeah,
like...
it's a bit sad
Do you not
because
know
it's
what
such
got
a
you to the
mosh,
dance,
strong
man?
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole album is just fucking amazing. And to not think that
for
it's
sure.
worthy of slipping one of those into your set list is... it's just disappointing, man.
Craziness. But yeah, so yeah, Acacia Strain, In Heart's Wake. Is there anybody else that you kind of draw influence from?
So bands like Burials,
yeah.
especially old Burials.
Yeah.
As you could probably tell, we've adopted some of that Burial style.
Yep.
You, even like from your reaction, that bass tone
Yeah.
is
Sludge
very
Bass City.
Burials like. Yeah. We love the shit out of that. Yeah, and bands like Traders and that kind of thing, people that
yeah.
are really, you can get a fight going in the pit.
Definitely.
Just from any of their songs. So, yeah, those bands are bands that I want to try and emulate, and even potentially end up touring with would be fucking fantastic. So,
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick. Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Man, I like I mean, obviously when I was a younger fellow, I obviously really did my time with heavy music. Like, you know, I started out as more of like a post-hardcore kind of person. You know, Dance Gavin Dance, you know, those kind of bands really are what I kind of grew up on. You know? Obviously, you know, I really did my time with heavy music, like The Cleansing with Suicide Silence, one of the greatest records ever written.
Of course.
But really, I find I draw the most. I don't really, honestly, draw the biggest influence from heavy music. Heavy music don't do the same for me as it once did. You know, I obviously being in a band like Sedative, I have to be interested and engaged by heavy music, which I still am. But honestly, my biggest influences really come from like Prince and Sade and Marvin Gaye, and you know, like actual like more like icons of music per se than bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's really interesting. So, how do you think that might then apply to how you're bringing vocally to this band?
Well, I think it's more in the sense of like, not per se the music we're writing, more about like the performance aspect and being bigger than a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really try and, I mean, as you can kind of probably tell from already some of your comments, we're really trying to be more than just a band that puts out music. You know, we're trying to be, it's really hard to obviously put into words, but like, just like a greater experience as a band. Like, engaging videos, interesting aspects aside from the music and the videos we put out, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's where I take the biggest inspiration from there, especially people like Prince, you know, what an iconic person.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just the influence I take from that is more just about being a presence more than just being a band.
That's so
cool.
really cool, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's so important to think about, like you said, the overall experience. And that's definitely not something that a lot of smaller bands that are trying to come up are even fucking considering in the slightest, man. Like, like you said, the Kappa drip rolling over across multiple videos, that kind of stuff.
Slamming the china, bro. That was fucking
smashing
sick.
the china on the ground. Like the things that, again,
we don't want to be. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, we are talking about them not only on the reaction, but they've stuck with us to bring them up with you again tonight.
Yeah,
that means it's fucking working, dude. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't want to just be 5 dudes that make music. You know what I mean? We want to be something that people can attach themselves to more than just songs that they like.
Yeah. I wanted to unpack. You talked about your vocals, and I want to go there a little bit more because in the reaction we talked about how you have a really good range for the style of music, and I think
thank you so much, man.
Also something that bands writing music that is as heavy as particularly that last song, not always you are then coupled with a vocalist that has and displays the range that you did, and that stuck out for me massively in that song. So obviously just wanted to give you the props for that, but also I guess talk us through your screaming, heavy vocal journey. Like, when did you start fucking belting that out, and how did you get to the point that you are in that song?
Yeah, cool. And firstly, thank you so much. That's really wonderful for you to say something as kind as that. Let me just start by saying I am fucking garbage of a vocalist. I am heavily asthmatic.
Oh wow!
I am a shit vocalist. If I'm not just trying to be humble or anything, I'm genuinely a bad vocalist. One thing I have always wanted to do when starting vocals was, I've always found bands, vocals tend to have one range and stick to one range, and that gets really fucking repetitive and jarring after a while.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. I think I've really tried to reflect that in all the music we've done, is to really show versatility in different vocal styles. I've always kind of done vocals, even when I was playing drums. I was doing vocals at the same time in most bands that I've been in.
Which is hard as fuck, by the way.
Which is hard as fuck. I don't even know how I learned how to do that.
Yeah,
I remember
that's like managing 4 things, because like with a guitar you got your left hand, your right hand, and your voice. But with your drums, you've got obviously your feet, both your hands, and then your voice as well.
And the timing's different.
Yeah. Exactly. The timing is always, that's the problem, is the time is always completely juxtaposed to what you're playing on drums.
Yeah. That's why I
Check
always
out
loved the clean singer from Atreyu. I always found like he was someone that why I love that band so much, because that guy's voice was fucking incredible.
Fuck yeah.
And he's just smashing the drums at the same time. I was like, dude, that is
same with Under Oath.
Yeah.
Aaron Gillespie, whatever his name is.
Yeah, true. You should check out the song Grey Matter by Winterfold on YouTube, and you'll see Matt doing some pretty sick backing vocals while playing drums in that.
Okay, all right.
That's one of my
we'll check it
favorite
out
songs
afterwards.
from
Yeah.
In a band I was in recently, I fucking rapped and played drums at the same time. That was one thing I've always been pretty stoked about, because that was such a fuck thing to learn how to do, man.
Because rap would rely a lot more on rhythm than just like
And obviously being rap and the pace that was quite staccato as well. So obviously like trying to piece words in while playing drums was a real challenge.
Fuck yeah.
So that's completely beside the point of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So when I was obviously playing drums and doing vocals, a friend of mine that came to a show that we were playing, it was actually Closet Space with Raf and I. She mentioned about like that my vocals were cool and I should do vocals, and that was literally what turned it for me.
Wow.
Okay.
I decided to try doing vocals in like a little side project, and that kind of evolved into what Grenade Brain was, and then obviously that has over the years evolved into what Sedative would ultimately turn into. So that's kind of the journey there. And I've just always, as I said, I know I started out doing vocals and I could only really do one like yell kind of pitch, and I've just really worked on it over the years to try and have as many things in the arsenal as possible.
Yeah.
And that includes the things that Rafi won't let me do on track.
Okay. Well,
what
are we talking?
It has been pretty cool to see like the evolution of Matt's vocals as well, because I've been playing in bands with him for a long time, and just seeing him from when he started doing vocals, kind of yell style and that type of thing, to where he is now, where he's doing like these crazy highs, lows, yells, pitch stuff and everything. Pretty impressed with what he's doing now.
So what won't you let him do, Raf?
Oh, I
I don't know what he's talking about there.
I do
Let him do
these
anything.
dog shit. I do these dog shit little gurgle.
Oh,
fucking,
come on.
like-
You do it as a joke, though. Like,
No, but I've been actually working on trying to do it for real.
yeah. If you can do it properly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so, Raph, I
You
guess
heard it
that's
here
probably a good segue. Are you the main man behind the production then? Are you the one stitching this this chaos together, or is it a group effort? How does the production side work for Sedative?
Yeah, it used to be a lot more me. It's more collaborative now. Like we're all getting involved, but I used to usually just like stitch the songs together and drums, guitars, everything like that.
Yeah.
And then Matt would do all the vocals and lyrics and that side of things. But I'm pretty glad that we've got things to the point now where everyone's pitching in. Everyone in the band currently writes songs for the band, writes
cool.
music, contributes, and we all kind of sit down together and play with each other's ideas and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so it's not so once again, not so one-dimensional like we were saying before. It's kind of coming, and maybe that also attests to why then one song might not sound like the other, because one might be more influenced by you, or one might be more influenced by Ryan or something like that.
that's it. When
tell-
one person writes a song, it really goes in one direction. Then when you get someone else involved to maybe do another instrument or just have a look at the structure of the song,
Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
can really change and kind of take on another dimension.
Yeah.
You can really tell if you really sit down and listen to our music. You can tell what songs Raph wrote and what songs Ryan wrote.
Okay.
Because if it's stupid and dumb and just basic slam, Ryan wrote it. If it's actually talented music, Raph wrote it.
I love how Ryan's not on the
Yeah,
call
they're
as well.
fucking
What
around.
Ryan's amazing, but he just loves like just stupid slam, ridiculous shit, and he does
Yeah.
Some of
fantastic
my
stuff
favorite
with it.
songs, my favorite songs of ours are actually songs that Ryan's written.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, there you
there's
go.
something to the more simple side of things and kind of just simple and heavy.
Yeah,
And I tend to go more like technical on guitar and try and be fancy.
yeah.
But sometimes it does just end up being the
Ryan,
1.5 minute banger that works out the best.
Ryan just gets what the kids want, you know.
Yeah. He's straight to the point.
But that's where, again, like, it's good to have that where you can, you don't just have the one person that's the workhorse of the production side of things, where he's constantly adding that flair to the songs, because that's what he's confident in doing as well when it comes to production. That's important to have a collaborative effort, because it allows you to, as we've said a few times, Ramil Devane to Midnight Valentine, completely different really in a lot of ways, but also still very much the band sound. So
Ramil Devane was one that our drummer Nathan wrote.
Yep.
Initially, he brought the song pretty much most of what the song is now.
Yeah.
And then I kind of edited it pretty heavily, changed some time, like tempos and things like that, wrote some riffs over the top of it, and then brought it into the group of us, and then added some things on after that.
Cool.
That's one avenue that song came about, where other ones will come about where me or Ryan will bring riffs in, or Scott will bring a riff in or something like that. So
Yeah, so
pretty different.
I was going to ask.
gone.
I was going to ask exactly how then does it start? Does it always start with, all right, we've got a riff, and then we put drums, and then we do vocals, and then it's works out from there, or is there like a formula, or is it more fluid than that?
It used to be more just guitar riff first, and then add drums to that and take it from there. But we've been doing more drums first, guitar first, putting riffs together, that type of thing, instead of just doing guitars. Because I think if you do just guitars and then add drums, the songs can go a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you add another dimension first, you'll find different time signatures coming in, tempos, how the sections like transition from one to another will really be different if you write it drum first instead of guitar first.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm pretty glad that we're doing it.
Yeah. That's definitely something that I've noticed with my songwriting over the years is I would start quite often with a riff, and then it would go drums behind that riff, and then the bass would just follow the riff, and then the vocals would always come last. And I've noticed with some of my more recent kind of noodling around and stuff like that, I've been trying to do things a bit opposite, and it's changed it up a little bit how it ends up sounding.
Did you think I was done?
He's taken us for a tour through the studio.
He's coming
No, it was getting too dark in the car, so I figured I'd just come join the boys.
So have you guys got a like a recording studio that you like hire out?
Oh, look
for
at
practice
that!
or
Yeah,
something?
wow. We're getting multi-angle on the fucking booty here.
Multi-angle.
Shout out to Vision Recording Studios out in Welshpool in Perth.
Vision recording studios.
Yeah, that's where we rehearse pretty much on a weekly basis. So
Yeah, nice.
we love the guys here.
Love it.
And so, who you doing your like mixing and everything through? Is there anyone else that you want to shout out that does your stuff over in Perth, or is it just getting sent off? Who else?
Yeah, we're mixing and mastering. We've been getting Tom from Violent Sound to do a lot of it. And we're getting some echo now.
I was going to say, you guys too
Oh,
close to
is
each
that
other.
me?
Now.
It's
Yeah.
probably because I got hectic headphones on here.
Yeah, we do it, most of the recording in Perth ourselves.
Yep.
And we get some other people to help out.
The last songs that we got done were through Sean from Reformed. So locally done. He did a really good job with recording it. Instead of being the full overly sort of processed and cut down music that we tend to see quite a lot of, he really opted for the more natural, hard-hitting sound that Midnight is now.
Yeah.
It's obviously not super clean. It's just heavy and punchy, and that's what we really wanted. So shout out to Sean on that one.
Yeah, shout out to Sean. That's yeah. Well, it sounded good, man. It definitely sounded good.
Yeah.
So one of the things we did in the early days was those first 3 singles we put out. We actually like did entirely different production and entirely different mix and masters with all 3 of those, just to kind of gauge who we wanted to use and what we wanted to go with. Yeah. And that kind of ultimately decided who we've gone with for the next 2 releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again is good to not stay one-dimensional and just like make sure that you try different things, because you might end up being surprised by someone that you were like, oh, we'll just see what they are able to put together, and then you end up being blown away by it. But you may not have necessarily tried that. So it's again important to be like, let's give this a go. Hey, it might end up being absolute fucking garbage, but it could end up
being straight up. One of those singles was done with someone off of Fiverr, like just to see how it went.
Interesting.
Sick, like,
yeah. Hey, look, at the end of the day, man, if it sounds good, like, what you get back to that sounds good, then so be it. No matter how it got there.
We just wanted to fully like take in the scope of what was available and use what was out there, instead of like a lot of people, especially in Australia, just fucking produce somewhere and then mix and master with Lance Prank, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, he's incredible at what he does, but it's really like you can tell that every band has the same mix,
It's the Joey Sturgis syndrome, like in 2010.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, look, you can't knock Lance, he's amazing, but yeah.
That's a rude motherfucker playing through their door open.
Door open kind of guy.
Out of a mix these days as well. Like when we're going in and doing a song, we generally talk to the person doing the mix master beforehand, and like when we're middle of writing the song, we know what we're going to want out of it in terms of like the spectrum of sound and everything like that, whether it be bass drops or kind of the levels of certain things, and so it's good to just be working with someone like on a few songs now. We've done like the record and a couple of singles with Tom now, so it's good to be at that stage.
And that's where the flip side of it is, then you start to get someone who also understands the direction, the sound, the nuances and things that the band is looking for, so you're not having to try and explain to someone.
Tom is going to be the next Lance Prank, and we're going to have to move on because everyone's going to use him. It's all good.
He'll always give you special treatment, mate.
That's right. Yeah, he'll reserve that sound just for you guys, hopefully.
He was like our little hidden gem when we first started using it, and I've started seeing like all these bands using him. I'm like,
you're like, So I want to ask, where do you think that Sedative is going to be heading then in the next, let's say, what?
I was just about to ask.
3
we're
years.
on a fucking wavelength here.
We are touring fucking everywhere, bro. That's
beautiful.
Yeah.
We've kind of done quite a bit of Australia already. So in 2021, we went to Adelaide. Start of this year, we did the full Australia tour. Then a couple months ago, we went back and did Melbourne, with Jabal when I was
Victoria
good.
and shit. Yeah.
So now we're at the stage where next thing for us is do Australia even bigger and go overseas, whether it be Asia, America, Europe.
Yep.
We're planning on just jumping on everything, especially next year, kind of picking up the pace a bit and getting on those bigger shows. And yeah,
that's all.
Where'd you play in Adelaide when you came? What venue do you remember?
And
classic.
Rhino Room.
Fuck.
Classic.
And Rhino Room.
The amount of comedy shows that he's played at the Cranker and the Rhino Room, actually.
Yeah, they're my two. They're my fucking
they're his go-tos, man.
I've been all over those stages telling some jokes, but not screaming.
Hard, bro.
upstairs at Rhino Room, when we got there was all like seats in the crowd, and it looked like a comedy venue.
That's what it
But
is.
then they
It's
cleared out all the seats, and
Yeah,
that's
we played Rhino Room in peak COVID times, and it was seated venue.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, imagine playing a deathcore show in front of motherfuckers sitting down on their asses. Like that'd be such a weird feeling.
there could be some people standing, but they weren't allowed to mosh. The people standing right at the front. That was just like the COVID rules at the moment. Everyone had masks on and everything like that, and then everyone else was seated. So it was a bit weird, but we were just happy to be like outside of Perth.
For real. So we're really planning to just tour as much as possible. And the biggest thing with us is like we didn't expect to be where we're at already. Like we've only been a band just over a year, and we've already toured 3 times.
Beautiful, man.
So we're like, obviously we're trying to do more and more, but it's obviously quite difficult being such a new band sometimes, like doing such massive scale things like we want to do, because you kind of need a bit of that credibility behind like time of the band. But
definitely
obviously because of our like tenure in the scene and shit, we've just done things correctly from the get-go. So our first
we are ramping up like pretty quickly compared to some other bands. We know a lot of other bands will be around for maybe 5 years, and then they'll do an Australia tour or something like that.
Yeah, but
that's not really what we're about. We just want to like go hard, do everything, tour outside of Australia, release as much music as we can, and just go for it.
Fucking oath. So in terms of like the music release then for the future, what are we looking at?
We have
another song coming out actually.
Yeah, we have another single it's November now, isn't it? Yeah,
November. This month.
Wow. Okay.
This month, and then we have a little extra thing we're doing for our friends next year, and more singles for the release of midnight of Hell I Am Sorry, which is the most recent release that we announced.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fuck yeah, man. That's so good.
It's good to hear.
Just to back on what you were saying, I guess because of that experience that you've got, though, instead of just waiting around and whatever, you've built the network, obviously, probably of connections, and you've done some of the tours before. So you're like, there's no benefit to us. Like, we've got the experience, the musicianship. Sorry, Scott, but we've mostly got the experience of stage time and things like that as well.
No, you're right, though. A lot of bands do kind of sit around and wait for things to happen for them.
I think that very often happens.
So, for us, that show that we did in Adelaide, we just jumped on it. There was COVID around. There was a bit of a gap where we were able to fly out to Adelaide and come back without any restrictions.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it shut down the week after we got back.
No shit.
But we figured we'd just go for it. We played with Relapse, Catalyst. And
fuck yeah. Relapse. Yeah. Ethan's a legend, man.
I was literally about to talk about Ethan. I love that cunt so much.
Yeah.
Him and I have been playing Halo together, bro.
Have you?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
We got to get those boys on, don't we?
We actually do, man. We actually do, because he was here at this house probably like maybe a year ago now, going like, oh, we should start a band. We should do this with my old housemate who's like in a band with me. And then it hasn't eventuated yet. But man, like, I tell you what, when it does, it's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah, he's a fucking bro. He's like arguably the best vocalist in Australia.
He's crazy, man. He's crazy. Yeah.
Was he there? He was recording vocals with Pat. He was doing with Pato one time when we were there, wasn't he?
Yeah,
probably, man.
Fucking
on the I think as Raph was saying, so many bands kind of just like expect shit to just happen for them. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember who it was, but I saw some band recently being like, we can't tour unless you fucking tell your friends and make it happen for us, or something along those lines. And it's like,
you talking about Counterparts?
No. It was an Australian band.
Oh, okay.
But it's like we did tour. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Bands just kind of like, it's so hard to find like bands have the drive to just actually just do shit without it being like given to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also leads to other stuff as well. When you do jump on something like that Adelaide show we did with Catalyst, we ended up doing an Australia tour with Catalyst.
Yeah.
They were just keen. So
Fucking oath.
6 months after we flew to Adelaide, we did a whole Australia tour with them.
Yeah.
And it's because the character speaks through when they meet you guys. They can tell
That's
that
right.
you blokes are people that are just willing to fucking get after it. And
It's
they're the people that
immediately,
they want on the tour with them. They don't want people
Exactly.
that are going to be precious and
Exactly,
whatever else on the
exactly.
tour. They're like, well, let's take these fucking savages. And
It's
then, you know,
immediately noticeable when you see a band or you meet people that, like, what kind of character they have. You know what I mean? If they
What their intentions are as well.
Exactly. It's immediately noticeable if a band gives a shit and are fucking gonna make shit happen, or if they're just kind of plodding along, waiting for something to come for them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think in our experiences, we've met like so many great people, like on it from touring ourselves, that have led to so many other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because
fucking
we're
oath.
out there doing shit, like.
Yeah,
I think it really speaks for itself when you see a band actually going and getting shit done. You know?
definitely,
Yeah,
man.
And it's like like we had a band on, and I'm not going to fucking sell them out, but we had a band on that was like,
Sell
oh
them
no,
out, bro.
we can't share the
Sell
podcast
them
episode.
out.
Nah, I'm going to fucking dig myself a grave. But they were like, no, we can't share the podcast episode on the actual Facebook page of the band, like, because we got to be careful about what we share. I was like, you guys fucking serious? I was
that
like,
about?
Pretty
"Oh, man."
ordinary, bro.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
shit like that, man, where I'm just like, why are you being? We're all just trying to fucking support each other. Like,
Yeah.
As much
We're-
as I agree, like social media is such a finicky little pinpoint planning game. Like,
Yeah.
it's still pretty ordinary effort. From
Yeah. Well, again, unless there was something on there where, but then if there was something in there and he was like, oh, it's because of this and I've done something wrong, we didn't edit it out or whatever, that's a whole different, but just being like, nah, I can't really post some podcast like on the thing. I'm like,
I'm gonna go and look at all your
Get over
yeah,
it.
and just see if you can pick out who it is.
Hunt it
gonna
down.
fucking call
Hunt
them
it down.
Yeah, like, because again, this is why we want to do it, man. We just want. We've done most, all Australian, bands that we love and that we just because these chats are fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
we say this every time we have a band on, but now I can't wait to see. I already wanted to see you cunts when you came to Adelaide, but now I'm so much more invested because we've got to
Right
have
on.
this chat with you legends. And
That's
it's the
the
same
thing,
for.
What you guys do as well, like the fact that you're supporting bands and kind of spreading what they do, and the least of what we can do is kind of post things about you guys as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's all about
And it
helping
makes
each
it so-
other out.
It
Yeah.
makes it so exciting when you go to a city where you know people through like things like this. You know what I mean?
Fucking
Like,
oath, man.
like
Fucking
when we
oath.
link up when we're in Adelaide next, it's going to be so much more better because there's just more people that we know there now. You know, what I mean?
100%,
Fuck
man.
yeah, dude.
And it's like, and it's the community that we all love. We all fucking love like hard music. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
all like
yeah.
getting out here and like listening to a breakdown or fucking hearing a brutal scream or something like that. And then you're going out to these places and you're meeting these people and you're just like, fuck, it's just another friend. Like
Yeah. That's the thing. Like,
That's the correct attitude.
I've got a group of mates that I only ever see at shows. We've never caught up at fucking a house party or done anything else. But every show I go to, they'll be there without fail. And we've been doing that for like 15 years now. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it's always good to catch up. And I know I'll see them in 2 months' time at the next show. We don't ever have to catch up outside of that because.
Yeah.
And it was like, COVID was the first time where we were like, dude, I haven't seen you in so fucking long because it'd been so long since we'd been to a show in Adelaide. It's just crazy how it's just such a
Community like
community.
that. Like,
Yeah.
you see so many people like kick each other in the face in the pit, and then half an hour later they're having a beer together at the bar. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you and I,
pretty
right?
awesome. But
last time I was in Adelaide, I kicked Raph in his face.
Oh, really? How'd that
we
happen?
can't be in a mosh together without one of us getting hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
funny as.
Like,
Was that
square in
before
the
you'd
face.
been on as well? Was that like pre-show, like moshing
Yeah,
to
it
another
was.
band?
It would have
Fuck.
Dude's got a concussion up
Yeah,
there,
hey.
fucking shredded.
Up there still nailing every note. Like.
Not a mosh for the other bands, though.
Yeah,
Come on.
fucking oath, bro.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
oath.
it. Because it's about supporting. But like you said before, the other boys jumped in, Matt, as well. Like how you said you appreciate the depth that we go into with the reactions. It's like because we're fucking fans, dude.
Yeah.
Like we're like
Yeah.
we're not just trying to ride the coattails of bands to try and get the podcast and popularity. This podcast started off as like fucking conspiracy.
Yeah, we fucking used to talk about all kinds
And
of
then we
shit.
did
That
a
one's
couple
called
of
Wormhole.
Yeah,
Right, that
exactly.
was well. It is Wormholes after the
The
volume,
volume
song.
song,
So
yeah.
there was. It's funny that we've ended up doing band stuff
Hang on.
because the name started because I thrashed that song when we were at Unify one year, and like they were like, "Stop playing fucking."
That song at one
Oh
time.
yeah, such a.
That was a good time in Volume's life.
Oh
Yeah.
Speaking of zeros and ones, fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so then we were trying to come up with a podcast name, and we were like, "Fucking just call it Wormholes," because then it's not really like again, it could be anything. And then we didn't start with the idea of doing these bands. We were never going to do reactions. Like it was all conspiracies, mental health, like just interviews with random people, a lot of comedians because of.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple of band interviews, and we were just like, "Fuck, dude, this is so much fun." Like we're yet to have a band on at least that we're like, "Wow, these guys are fucking flogs." Like everyone's been a legend.
Which is like
Until now.
You guys get involved in that kind of mental health side of things as well.
Yeah,
That's something that we try and do, since a lot of the lyrics of our music kind of relate to that side of things, and that's why we do fundraisers for Lifeline and that type of thing. And we're planning on doing a lot more in the future as well.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think
guys we got involved in stuff like that. So
we raised over $1,000 after Death Romantic came out for Lifeline, like just recently.
Oh, fucking
That's
oath, dude!
amazing.
That's so sick,
That's so
man.
fucking cool.
So when you said that you base a lot of your lyrics around this kind of stuff, give me an example.
Oh, bro, that's a
do you want to go into it?
Yeah,
That's a
we
deep,
want to go.
deep-
Yeah, we want to go into it, man.
Unless
I
you got to
mean,
go to, unless you got to run, let's
I
go
was
in.
about
We
to
love
say,
this
bro,
shit.
how much time we got here, you know?
We got time. It's just ticked over 2
We'll
a.m.
make this
in
Joe
Adelaide now.
Rogan-esque if we have to. We'll be here till fucking. It's
No,
already
I
1
think
a.m. here.
it's a pretty broad subject as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course,
Broad
yeah.
brush to cover like what everything. Like, it's obviously pretty heavily based on like you know, not to be brash about it, but suicide and fucking loss and hopelessness and despondency, and I mean that's just naturally what I tend to write about. Because I'm a miserable cunt. There's no other way to really say it,
But it's also like you're sitting here and you're going, oh, you know, you feel like you like writing this because that's what you like writing. But then you're also people are listening to that and they're relating to that, and it's helping them as well.
yeah, it was actually a rare thing that I looked forward to for a long time. Was we played a show. It was actually this like a couple of months ago, and after the show, one of the dudes in the crowd that like was doing heaps of mic grabs and stuff, he came up to me and he was like, "Man, your lyrics for one of our songs called Unlove," he was like, "The lyrics of that song like fucking saved me and got me through some shit." And I was like, "Man, that's fucking amazing to hear that from someone." I mean, you hear that all the time from like other people about like bigger bands, but like, I'm just some dude that writes about shit that I'm going through, and like for someone to say that it's like done that much for them is fucking incredible, man. You know, that's such an incredible feeling to know that like me essentially venting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is, like helping someone. Like,
and making that impact, man, that must just be like, all right, I like making music because I like making heavy music and for me, but when you realize that it's bigger than just yourself and bigger than you 5 boys in the band, then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, damn, like this is, we're like, I'm making an impact.
Yeah. Especially everything off of Death Romantic was so like incredibly personal as well. That was about like Death Romantic is very much about like what was happening to me like at that point in time, you know, like and to know that like someone related so heavily to that shit is, man, I mean, it's as well as the blessing it is to know that you help someone. It's just nice to know that people like feel that shit too, you know, like obviously people do feel that shit too, but it's like when you hear someone say it affects you so much more heavily, you know.
Fucking oath.
And like Unloved and like everything on Death and Manic, that's some fucking heavy shit, man, you know, like it's some shit.
Well, I think it's part of why it's ended up becoming, the pod's become what it's become in a way, is because like we've noticed the line that gets drawn through our passion for mental health, and a lot of the bands that we talk to have lived experience. You know, there's influence in in a lot of their music and stuff like that as well. So it's ended up kind of being like a match made in heaven in a way, because we're talking to people who understand it better than anyone, and a lot of times have been through it, and then try to obviously connect with it in the music that they make, the music they listen to themselves, and want to also help, you know, in their ways like what you guys have just mentioned. So we never really thought about that, you know, in the beginning of it, but it's kind of ended up what's been the case. And it just I've talked about this a lot on the pod, but like we had the boys from Atlas on, And you know,
I think you mean Atlas, bro.
Yeah, Atlas, right?
With
Yeah.
the V, yeah.
And they were telling us a story about one of the songs off the EP, and like, you know, I go back and listen to that song just through like a whole new ears. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it takes on such a different meaning. And now, you know, because of that, it's one of my favorite songs of this year, and you know, probably of a long while, because I just connect with it completely differently. So it just adds
I think that's
so much.
I think like when you like obviously you hear a song and it's like when you attach it to like a person, you know what I mean, it becomes holds so much more gravity, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think like when you know the person that, like for example, like a band that you like or whatever, like, but if you know the people that are in that band, listening to the lyrics makes it hit so much harder because you know who's saying it, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah. I think it's because as well, like we talked about this on one of the other episodes, but like, remember how that we went through that phase of like bands and their frontmen had to be that fucking egotistical, fucking maniacal fuckbag of a human being. That was such a time where that, so the, you didn't really connect with those people like personally, like you could connect with the music or whatever, but like, you know, you felt this such a distance from those because you didn't resonate with that man pissing in a bottle and bottling a girl with it as one example of, you know, things that have happened over the fucking years. So it just, you know, but whereas now I feel like we have evolved as a species a little bit to the point where that is not acceptable in any way, shape or form. That abusive fucking, you know, arrogant frontman has no place in our scenes anymore. And so then you do really, you know, connect more with the people because you do have that, like, they're just a human being. And the pod obviously helps us do that even more. But I feel like as a whole, going to shows and, you know, when there's a break between the songs and the lead singers, you know, going on a fucking tangent about whatever's important to him, you believe in it, you connect with it. It's just, we have really evolved as a culture in the heavy scene.
Yeah, 100%.
There's definitely a better culture for it.
When we play live shows as well, that's something we really want to do. We want to bring the crowd into what we're doing and not just jump up on stage, play to people, and run off. We really like to get in the crowd and mosh with them while playing our guitar or mic grabs or things like that. Chatting to
as
people
much as
before and after we play. And
that's a big thing for us. As much as we're quite a violent band, like musically, you know what I mean? It's quite violent shit that we play. We're very like, well, I mean, at least I like to think that we're quite approachable people, and anyone that's really kind of had interactions with us has realized we're quite personable. And like, I think a big thing that we have tried to drive home since starting this band is like sticking around and like getting involved with fans at shows and shit, you know, like people want to, like, they like your band, they want to fucking talk to you and talk about random shit, you know, and people have really responded well to that. We've really tried to like make an emphasis on doing that at shows the last year or so, you know.
And even like you said earlier on. Sorry, go on, Raph.
We'll always be at the merch desk, like after and before we play as well, and up for a chat for anyone who wants to kind of come by and talk, whether it be like about the show or just pretty much about anything. We're always keen to have a chat. So if any people out there do see us at the merch desk or just around about at shows, whether it's in Perth or wherever, feel free to come chat to us and say hi.
Please do.
And that literally ties into what you guys said earlier on when you were like, we're trying to make this more about the performance as well as the music. You know, I know one time I went and saw Beartooth and Caleb was on stage and he almost like broke down talking about how this next song is about depression and how bad it hit me. And like, everyone was just sitting there like silent and he was just like nearly crying. And it's just like, mate, I don't know what it was, but like it made you feel like that he was here, not, you know, 5 meters up on the stage. It's quite interesting, man.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying with that. Shit like that really helps you attach yourself to what the music is instead of it just being purely music, you know?
Yeah. And feeling the distance from it. And as I said, I think as a whole, the scene has really done a good job of moving into that space where you can connect with it on a more personal level, not just when you're listening to it, and especially at those live shows and stuff as well, where, and again, I think a lot of people have had an awakening going through COVID of like, holy fuck, like I know personally, not seeing live music for nearly 2 years, like really affected me. And I didn't know how much I was ever going to miss it until it got taken away. And now, you know, I'm jumping at every opportunity to go to any show just because I'm like, fuck.
It really made people like give a shit when shows started to come back, you know? Like,
yeah.
Even for like
an
shitty
exciting time in Australian music at the moment as well. There's a lot of international bands and stuff coming over now that it's all open. Everyone's flocking in, and we're starting to see some really spectacular acts. Like Knotfest, obviously, is a thing that's happening now, which wouldn't have been happening previously. You know, there's all sorts of stuff going on that's actually really exciting and really hopeful for the scene. You know.
Definitely, man. There's definitely energy, like, you know, and there's groundswell in Australia. We've always had good bands here. I feel like it's always been strong here, but the culture itself needed some development. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I think it's lighted a fire up everyone of like, you know, if not now, then when. It's kind of like, you know, that was the problem. Everyone was just, like you said, waiting for someone else to put that tour together, waiting for someone. The amount of fucking show producers we've got now, which again, hey, if they're going to be putting the groundwork into getting bands over here, fucking more power to them. As long as they're not ripping people off or doing the wrong thing. There's actually all of these new ones popping up now, and I'm happy for it, because if there's other people that are sending the emails and trying to drum up interest, and that gets the bands that are in America, in the UK or whatever to go, well, fuck, I'm getting emails from 10 different cunts in Australia. Like, there's obviously interest for us down there, because that's a lot of the problem, man. Like, Australia gets thought of, even though they know about our musical exports, they don't know what they're going to get when they come down here.
It's also just such a gamble without having someone do it for you. You know what I mean? For a band from like not Australia.
Yeah.
Australia is a very tough place to tour.
Yeah,
obviously for a European or an American band, like there's such distance between all of your shows, and you can only really play it in a week, you know, 4 days and then out.
One of our closest affiliates, Brendan from Borderline, is like I'd argue one of the bigger pioneers in the resurgence of like bands being brought over for tours, you know.
Well, that was who booked the Volume show that unfortunately
got
fucking...
Yeah, so we're on his touring roster, but like he's the one that obviously there's the Destroy All Lines and shit that are always going to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
But Brendan was like from Borderline, so it was he was the one that was just constantly bringing bands over. Like as soon as COVID ended, you know, he was the one that's been spearheading all these bands coming over.
Yeah.
Like he's done Volumes, obviously he did Within Destruction, Signs of a Swarm.
Yeah.
He did fucking... Who's that tour that just got cancelled, unfortunately? But like he was obviously doing it. Fucking Analepsy and shit.
A few had to be cancelled recently, but I have a lot of respect for the people that were putting on shows like late 2020 and during 2021, where you kind of never knew if a show was going to go ahead or if a band was going to be able to come over, and that kind of kept things going. I don't know about over east as much, but in Perth, people that were putting on shows here and still like keeping things going, like I think a lot of people appreciated that there were still shows. So
one of our homies, Austin, brought fucking Falsifer over to Adelaide, from Adelaide to Perth, like just to put a local show on. Like,
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, fucking oath. And shout out to Falsifer. They've been around for a while now too. They're dope.
Shout out to Falsifer.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Mad respect for them coming to Perth. I think it was like October 2021, COVID stuff still happening, and they made the trip over to Perth and fucking smashed it.
Fucking oath, man. That's
we love the guys. We love everyone involved as well.
Well, should we do one of these recurring segments we do that we like to refer to as Song of the Week?
Thick, ropey.
Should we do it?
We've remembered nearly every...
I know, we're fucking on it now. I know. We forgot for like 40 episodes straight.
Yeah.
And now we're coming through
we're going to start this segment where we like pick a song that we've been smashing for the last week, and then we just kept forgetting. But now we've kept fucking remembering and stringing them together. So boys, open up your Spotify if you need to and think about what you've been thrashing. But whoever wants to jump in first and let us know what song's been getting an absolute hiding for you this week.
Does it have to be new? Like, does it
have to be new?
No.
Okay.
I recently went and picked off a song off Neverbloom that was I just rediscovered and was fucking smashing it. So
I have been obliterating Sometimes Things Change by Swimming. It's fucking...
By who? Sorry, Swimming?
The band is called Swimming, and the song
Swimming.
is called Sometimes Things Change.
Okay, all right.
Incredible song, incredible band. So, I mean, obviously I'm assuming you will play it for this segment when you
Yeah, we
ultimately do
will.
this, but
Yep.
that shit bangs. Definitely
Fucking
not
oath.
heavy at all, but yeah.
Yeah, no, awesome. All right, what about you, Scott? You want to go next?
Cesspool of Ignorance, Signs of the Swarm.
Oh, we haven't had any signs of the
We
swarm
haven't had a
yet.
signs. They're fucking huge.
No.
That band. When did I saw them here on some tour, and they were just.
That would
fucking
have been
mental.
Within Destruction because it's the only time they've come over.
Yeah, I
Oh,
reckon.
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
It must have been. They were fucking mental.
Yeah.
They're the most insane live band that I've seen for a very long time.
Very
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, right.
They're
Okay.
so tight. Their live performance is fucking insane.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll check
Great
that song
bits.
out. Is that a new song of theirs, or is that just one you've
Nah.
been? No,
Nah,
old
it's
one.
just an
that you-
old song.
Yeah,
It's just
fucking oath.
genuinely my favourite song. So
Fucking oath. Fucking oath. All right, Raph, what about you, mate?
I'll give you two kind of different ends
Oh,
of the spectrum.
two songs of the
All right,
week.
mate.
Okay,
Fucking taking
all right.
liberties over here.
Taking liberties.
The reason I thought of this is because they both got. I was working out and I kind of put both of them on, even though they were on completely different wavelengths.
Yeah.
First one was Lips and Arseholes by To The Grave, and fucking just love To The Grave. Waiting for that new song to come out.
Oh, I
and
know, I
To The
saw
Grave
that.
is just one of those bands that I can put on like any time and just love the shit out of. So
Yep.
that's one, and then Glimpse of Us by Joji is the other one. that
Oh,
I'm
Joji.
loving.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I do love Joji stuff, but yeah, just been smashing it.
Cool.
Pretty sure it
Can I
was To
throw
The
a bonus
Grave.
one in?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Throw a bonus in while we're
I
here.
saw
Fuck
your
it.
last episode of this song of the week, and whoever you had on did he said baddest of them all, and I want to say that as my bonus pick because that song is so
Yeah.
fucking good.
That was Mitch from Dead Skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song's so fucking good, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that thing like
I'm
very
so sick of hearing it, but holy shit, it's so
It's a fucking
yeah,
banger,
Varies
though,
are
isn't it?
fucking sick though.
What was I just about to say?
What's your song of the week, man? What are you
I
throwing
had something
down?
else that I was going to fucking say then, but I forgot. Oh, well, too late now. Mine's that one I sent you, Cold Blooded by In Visions.
Oh, Envisions,
Envisions been
yeah,
around
they're
for a fucking
good.
long time, and that
Yeah.
song was a fucking banger of a new release from them. So, yeah,
Yeah.
the little rappy fucking verses that they do with the just
Yeah.
pure heaviness. I was,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Have you heard their
Yeah.
old song Parasite?
yeah,
That's my
dude,
favourite by
that
them,
song
bro.
is a fucking.
Yeah,
They're just a good, again, a band that was just brought something a little bit different and have been doing it for a while now. I think,
Yeah.
they was
Where
good
are they
to.
from?
I think they're
They're
American.
American,
I think
yeah.
they're American.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Back when everything had in before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In directions there.
Yeah, everything was in before shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So I need to look at my phone because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. My song of the week this week is Spiderweb by a band that I think it's either Frontiers or I'm just going to say Frontiers.
Okay.
They
But
were just touring Australia, weren't they?
I'm not actually too sure. I literally, they came on in my Discover Weekly, yesterday or the day before when I was sitting here doing work. And then I was like, fuck, this is huge. I linked it to you.
Yeah.
Are they Norwegian, the Norwegian band? Or
Are
are
you
they
talking about the pretty metalcore heavy stuff?
Yeah, and they did a song with Novelists.
Oh,
Yeah, I
novelist.
think that's the band that was just
Yeah.
in Australia like
I'm
last
pretty
week.
sure they literally toured like 2 weeks ago. when
No
the
shit.
Fuck, dude.
the
I hate
Dark
when you
Homies before
discover
them.
a song after they've
Left the fucking country. Well, yeah, and that song is that's their newest one that would have just come out, and fucking hell, man, just the breakdown at the end there is crazy, and the mix is crazy, and it's just pure energy, so it deserves song of the week.
Song of the week.
Fair enough.
Another
Fair
fucking
enough.
segment done.
Another segment done. So
Which rolls us into segment number 2.
we've only got 2 segments. Don't
Yeah,
get fucking
that's-
too
yeah.
excited.
This one's a little bit more chunkier. This is the guestions. Every guest that we have on the podcast gets the same kind of mixed up order, but the same set of questions. The first one's always spicy, boys. Let's see how you go with this one. What is your favourite song of all time?
Oh, that's super
yeah.
easy for me. That's super easy for me, to be honest.
Go on, man.
Scab by Corbin.
Oh, I don't think I've heard that one before.
I don't think anyone's going to give a shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very simple one for me.
Cool.
Corbin, otherwise known as Spooky Black, maybe to other people. But yeah, very unique artist. Incredible.
And what
record.
resonates with you about that one in particular?
It's just fucking. It's like, it's hard to describe genre-wise, but it's like doing a fucking fantastic. a fantastic job of explaining it.
It's like something.
Especially lyrically, it's quite heavy, and it's like atmospheric in a way, and it has its own it really invokes its own aesthetic as a piece of sonic medium, which is
Cool.
ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, okay.
For something that's just music alone with like no visual aid to create its own soundscape and aesthetic is just always, I find that really impressive in music. You know?
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
awesome. What was it again? Sorry, can you just say, because I'm
Scab
by Corbin. All right, excellent.
Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
I'm gonna check
Fucking
that
oath.
shit out. Scott, on to you, man. We haven't heard enough from you, so
So I'd say my favorite song of all time would be "Arrogance" by Traders.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
So I don't know what it is about the song. It's an old song. It's a fucking banger. Just it's a real what I want Sedative to be, you know.
Yeah.
And Midnight's the closest we've been to that, but it's something fucking special that I never turn it off when it pops up on my list. So
They're a good
Is
band,
that the
man.
fucking? Is that the fucking?
that's the
Blur
one
song?
with like the 10-minute bass drops in it.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
it's sick.
Yeah,
Fuck
fuck,
and
good
Raph,
band,
what
man.
about you, man? You sounded a little bit troubled by this question. We love when people get.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of
have a
people
think
just
about it.
bring it early, like
Yeah.
just know it. Which
Just like,
fucking,
but this is my favorite song of all time. But like
Yeah.
most people are like, oh fuck, I don't know.
yeah, that's a tough question. But what about?
Let's go Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas is you.
You picked the right time of the year for that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll probably go Parkway Drive, Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Oh,
Just purely because that's kind of what really got me into what I'm into at the moment. So, it's kind of the baseline of heavy music and all the stuff that I
Yeah.
love at the moment.
good song.
What a
good
song
album.
that
Everyone-
just fucking goes from the
Yeah.
opening
I think everyone
second.
can
Yeah.
really resonate with that song. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, man. What
Yeah.
a fucking
Fucking oath.
killing with a smile or Horizons. Well, if you have to pick what, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Killing
the
with a smile. As
Yeah,
much as
I'm-
I
Oh,
love
okay.
like all the technical guitar
Yeah.
work on Horizons, I fucking love the guitars on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Killing with a Smile, just like the songs on it, you can't beat.
I would have to say "Killing with a Smile" as well.
yeah. I'm killing.
I'd say Horizons, eh? I'm
Your
different.
Horizons.
I'm
are-
Horizons too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm killing just because it was what got me into heavier music was killing, and it's just an album that not that there's a song off Horizons that I don't like, but like killing, it's hard for me to even pick which ones I like more than the others. It's that I love them all so much. For me, it's
True.
just front to back, just fucking amazingness. And we talk about it so much, but like
Yeah.
the mix just holds up. There's not many
does,
other
yeah, it
albums
does.
from 2003 that you can listen to without being like, oh,
Fuck, this sounds like a
shit.
couple
Well,
bucks.
the mix holds justice because it's kind of a little bit gritty and a little bit shit, and that
Yeah.
does it favors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
True.
But then it's still better than Deep Blue when they came back to
Yeah.
Australia and fucking recorded with some rock artist.
I think that's fucking Deep Blue's fault, not the fucking mixer's fault.
Wow.
Yeah, well.
There's two columns, all right, mate.
Yeah,
It's
it's a bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. That bass drum is.
Yeah,
there's no forgiving that fucking
the
bass
kick's
mix
a
on
bit
that
out
album.
there. But all right, well, we'll roll on question number 2, boys. Who is your favorite comedian or comedic actor?
Oof.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'd go. For me, it's probably Jim Jeffries at the moment. To be honest.
Okay,
We've
yeah.
had a few.
We've had a few.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've had a few.
JJ fans.
I really
I love
love
Jim.
I really love Lewis Spears personally.
Oh yes, he's amazing. Have you seen him?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any Lewis
Yeah,
Spears.
he's,
No.
he's a bit quiet at the moment. In fairness,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love Lewis Spears, man.
Fuck yeah.
Very intense individual. That man loves a good bit of
Yeah.
crowd work. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. He's great. What about you, Raph?
I'd say Louis C.K.
Oh,
No,
yes.
classic.
Virgil,
Much
bro.
shit is that
Such a-
man, bro. I fucking love him. And he's
Yeah.
probably the one that me and my partner like quote the most to each other and just like laugh with each other about. So, yeah, definitely Louis C.K.
Yeah,
Very
he's a
incredible
he's a goat.
special.
He's a goat.
My early stand-up was very much influenced by Louis. He's my favorite comedian. When we asked each other these questions in like
Yeah.
episode 7, that's who I picked, and I stand by it. Masturbating in front of women, I'll fucking stand by him for that too. Those chicks said yes at the time. All right, he did ask consent. I'm going to get cancelled for that.
Yeah, fuck. Is cancel culture still a thing, man?
Yeah.
It is? Okay,
absolutely
all right.
Cancelled,
Fair
K.
enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, he's amazing. His style of comedy, it just resonates with me. So it's just fucking hilarious, man. He's just great. And yeah, his first two specials, Chewed Up and Shameless, are like probably my two favorite stand-up
I could
specials.
rewatch
of all
them
time.
forever.
Oh yeah, they're so good.
So
when
funny.
when I first discovered them, like I watched it with every mate, family member that I could get to watch it to the point of like being annoying. I was like, you have to like this is the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life.
The only downside of liking Louis C.K. that much is that a lot of my favourite parts are a bit racist. And
Yeah.
I
Are they
don't
all
typically
really
like-
these days when you look back
was
at
a different
anything
time then,
he's
it was a
older
different
than
time.
fucking 20 years. I was even
Yeah,
like, we watched one of early Russell Peters.
Yeah.
And even though he's Indian, the shit that
Right.
he fucking was
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
in his
Imagine trying to
early
do that
special.
shit today.
I think he still does, man.
But like not
Really?
not to the level.
Not to the
that he did.
nah. He's not sitting there like pointing out Lebanese and then going black people and then to
Yeah, just
He
like
was
full-
racism, my bro.
yeah, legit.
He really was, just
He
with
was.
a brown face. Just
Yeah,
racism with a
yeah.
brown face. That was fucking hell.
Do you want to hit him with question number 3?
Yeah, question number 3. Have you guys meditated? What's your experience with meditation? Is it something you still do? Never done it? Hit me with it.
I've had a go with it. I did a little bit in the past. It's something that I should probably get back into because when I did like a bit of meditation every morning, I feel that it helped. So
Yeah.
yeah, I should probably get back into it.
Yeah,
That's why we like asking this question because quite often it's followed by people being like, you know what, I need to fucking do that again. So
yeah. What about you, Scott?
Nah, not at all.
Nah,
at all?
not at all.
Not at all. Just
Well,
sleep it off.
one of the
Just
things we
sleep,
talked
just
about.
fucking sleeping off. She'd be right.
There's a lot of I guess a lot of people kind of think of meditation in like in a way of like, you know, sitting with your legs crossed and you know, doing the fucking hums. But what we've kind of
Just do breathing
discovered,
exercises and things like that. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that as well.
but
Yeah.
even just like, you know, we were talking about Mitch from Deadskin, and he was saying about like just he said he's never done it, and then the more we talked about the question, and he was like, I'll quite often listen to a song and then just scream along to it and try and like match the scream of the artist that he's listening to and just try and see if he's able to keep up with the range of the screamer. And I was like, dude, you at that moment, for me, meditation is anything where you can completely block out the noise of life, right? So if you're focusing so hard on just being able to like scream along with a band, you're not thinking about that bill that's fucking due next week or how shit work's going to be tomorrow. So I think there are a lot of different like forms of meditation that aren't just like trying
yogi.
to-
Yeah, sure. I've never really thought about it that way, in sense.
A lot of people do it without realizing either. There's a lot
Yeah.
of things that are meditation, whether it's like going for a 10-minute walk outside in the sun or like
yeah.
lying down with a cat next to you purring or like playing video games could be meditation. for some
Yeah,
people as
that's a
well.
big one, man.
We
That's a
say
big
video
one.
because I
stuff
play video
that-
games for that reason, man, because if I'm focusing on shooting this motherfucker in the head, I'm not thinking about the stress of life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm concentrating on ending this motherfucker's
Yeah,
life.
100%.
That's
Like,
all
I think video games are possibly, maybe even one of the biggest, because I know, like, because I love Pokemon. Like, I fuck with Pokemon so heavy, right?
That's why the Gengar, he picked that shit.
Oh, yeah, I picked that shit out. And like,
miles away.
when I fucking get caught, like I know that in 2 weeks' time when this new game comes out, I'm going to be like lost for weeks,
Yeah.
months. Like, and it's almost like you sit there and you're in a different world, and like that, to me, that's also meditation.
Yeah, fuck.
But
I'm
when you
already
have some other shit, when you have some other stuff going on in your life, like having a shit time, that's like a few hours when you're sitting down not thinking about that stuff and just having a good time. So
100%, man.
I'm definitely calling in sick to work the week for Pokemon.
When Pokemon.
Yeah, he's
See, there you
fucking
go.
on it.
He's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
into it, bro. That's what
Yeah.
you want. See,
Yeah.
you've meditated. That's why we like this question, because sometimes you realise, fuck yeah, I meditate my ass off. I didn't even realise
Yeah.
I was about to say,
Sorry.
fucking playing games is meditating. Man, I'm a fucking seasoned veteran.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
me too.
definitely, bro.
I've been
Definitely.
smashing Overwatch like so fucking hard since it came out. It's the most like not pay to win, but the most fucking
Sweaty
like,
as fucking
bullshit.
shit, yeah.
What do you call it? Money hungry pieces of
Just
shit.
freemium.
Activision Blizzard of all time.
Yeah.
and I'm just
Yeah.
gobbling it up. I'm
You're
just
copping the loot
getting
boxes.
that
Yeah,
just
fuck.
dirty fucking corporate jizz down my throat. Give it to me.
All right, question
number 4.
Question number 4. What's one conspiracy theory you boys believe in?
that you think is
You think is
conspiracy.
legit?
That's a very interesting question. I feel like I actually have some, but I just can't remember what they are right now.
Probably the one that sticks out to me is just 9/11. Like,
Yeah, it's classic.
but like what actually happened. Like, I refuse to believe that it's just like happened how it did and how they kind of want you to believe, but no idea what actually happened.
Jump back into the Spotify archives of Wormholes, my man. We did a very fucking
We've labelled them all the conspiratoriums, so they're easy to find.
If you wanna get a bit put some tinfoil on the head and get in a dark room and have a listen. Man.
Get in a dark room.
We actually had to stop doing them, man, because
we almost got our channel banned.
Hey, brother.
Here we go.
He doesn't have headphones.
He doesn't have headphones.
That's our bassist Ryan there.
Hey,
yeah,
man.
he's joined the chat right at the end.
Wait, that's the Kappa tracksuit?
That's the Kappa tracksuit.
He's in high vis at the moment.
Yeah.
Kappa high vis.
Is that Kappa high vis?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's what I was going to say before, actually. I was like, have you guys, have you reached out to Kappa and try and do a merch collab?
Do a collab, do a fucking cross
The Sedative snaps, I will have my fucking, you can have everything of my credit card if I can get some Sedative snap pants with a Kappa logo on it.
We are trying to work something out. It's a very difficult line to tread because
High vis Kappa is a good idea, though.
Yeah, that's a fucking tough idea. So, Scotty.
Go ahead.
So Scotty, any conspiracy theories that you believe in?
Look, nothing really comes to mind at the moment that I can think of. I'd have to have a bit of a think about it for a while, to be honest. So,
okay, all right. Well, we're gonna have to.
What other major ones are there?
Oh man, geez, don't get us
started. We really don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time.
Actually, no, I have a great one. I have a great one. The Lavender Town music suicide fucking conspiracy.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. Do you know this one?
I actually don't know this one, but
the original Japanese version of Pokemon Red and Blue's Lavender Town music was reportedly causing children to commit suicide when it was originally released.
That's crazy. It might have even been just after this reaction we did for you guys. We were talking about Lavender Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? What was it? It was like the sonic frequencies that it hit.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Children's minds that caused them to fucking. It drove them insane and caused them to kill themselves.
That's
like
wild.
A real thing if you look at it. I don't know how fucking. It might not be real.
Yeah, that's still fucking creepy. Oh, we were talking about that recently because about how creepy it is.
Yeah. Fucking, that's the one we haven't had before. And I'm glad
I like that one. I like that one. Hit him with another one, my man.
Next question. One of my favorites. I always love asking this, boys. What is a couple of things that you guys are grateful for today?
I'm grateful for Persona 5 Royals on Nintendo Switch.
What the fuck is that?
JRPG.
Oh, Persona 5.
Yeah, what did I say?
Yeah. No, I thought you said Personified Royals. I was like, what the fuck is that? Is that Crooked Royal's sister band or what?
I have a pretty heavy fucking mumble speech impediment.
No, that's all right.
Persona 5 Royals, man.
Yeah, I saw that come out on Game Pass, but I haven't been too busy playing Overwatch to check it out. I love JRPGs. Did you ever play Eternal Sonata back in the day on Xbox 360?
No, I did not, but I'm quite familiar with it, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. Absolutely loved it. Even got an Xbox 360 off my dad, an old chipped one, and dug that out. I've got it sitting at home ready to plug in when I can be fucking bothered.
Yeah,
that's how much I love that shit. Boys,
what about you, boys? What are you grateful for today?
You want to go, Scott?
I mean, not to be all cringy, but I am pretty damn grateful to be in Sedative, to be honest.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, dude. That's sick.
That's like
I know. But the things that we do with some really good mates, you know, and
I'm sitting there laughing.
Yeah. I told you it was going to be cringy, but that's generally what I'm
cool shit, man. That's
grateful for.
Can we just quickly ask then, how? Because obviously we know that you first shows on a fucking tour. How do you? We know the rest of the history, but how do you fold into this mix? Where do you they saw you mow on the street and they're like, hey, fucking play guitar?
They saw the mow and it was a match made in heaven, as you said. But so I think it was just sort of around the time they had a guitarist in, guitarist out, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was sort of looking like it was going to be a 4-piece for a little bit, but so Ryan's my best mate. So
Oh, there you
that's
go.
kind of how it
There's
started.
a reason.
Look
That's
at that
why
little
I'm
kitty.
putting the camera on you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Miss you. But yeah,
He's just like, what the
so,
fuck is going on here?
yeah, Ryan just kind of got me into it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah,
That's killer,
sent me
man.
the tabs
That's
and off we go. But
It worked out really well too. I think sometimes when you bring in like a complete random, even if they're the most amazing guitarist or whatever, it can be a bit tough. So having Scott come in and kind of already be a mate, it made things a lot easier. And he picked up everything on guitar super quickly. So throwing him into the deep end and taking him over each piece for our tour was a bit of a big set, but yeah, he smashed it.
It's the Parkway
awesome,
Pie thing, right? Yeah. That, off the
Yeah.
DVD where they fucking
get
get
a
a pie out
mate.
to Europe.
Yeah,
Fucking oath.
that's the best
You
way to
get
go.
your mates. You'd rather your mates than some fucking dickhead who doesn't gel with you, in the prac room and everything else as well. So
That's always been a big thing for us, man. We'll always, obviously being in bands as long as we have, we'll always rather someone, well, not rather someone, we'd always opt for someone that we gel with,
Yeah.
and get along with. Like, especially touring as much as we are at the moment, if you got a shit ton in the band, touring is not going to be a good time, you know what I mean? You need someone that's going to enjoy touring and enjoy touring with you. And we're very particular kinds of people, you know what I mean? So if you don't gel with us.
we're not just 5 guys in a band. You'll see us quite regularly, going out or going to local shows or whatever. We'll all be together or,
fuck yeah, man. That's what you
spending
want.
time.
cool,
Just,
man.
and then
We did
again, that
most
shit
of our-
shines through in your mixes. It shines through in your stage presence. It shines through at the merch table. Like, you talk
For sure.
about trying to create an experience. Well, you can't create an experience
if you
with
fucking
5
hate each
people
other.
with very different
Yeah.
ideas and divisions and all of that kind of stuff. You've got to be a collaborative unit, both on and off the stage, in and out of the recording studio, all of those things. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it really matters so
as
much.
well.
Is it not?
We did most of it in a camper van. Like it was basically a 4-person.
It was a
camper
high
van.
ace, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
no
smaller than a
shit.
high
And
ace.
there were 5 of us, and
Wow.
we slept most nights in that camper van. And yeah, that'd be a struggle if there was someone we didn't particularly like. in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps
Yeah.
out when we actually get along with everyone.
Fuck
We
yeah.
can be
yeah.
really, especially like this cunt and I can be really fucking annoying. So if you don't get along with us, fucking around this shit just
Yeah, why don't he come sit down and you put his finger in his mouth in about fucking 2 seconds after he sat down. So
Bro,
that
you
probably
should
tells
hear
the
us when you're
story.
trying to. You should hear us when you're trying to sleep. Bro.
So, Raph, what's some things you're grateful for, and then we'll move on to the final question, and we'll let you go.
I'll be pretty quick and cringy as well. It's my girlfriend.
Fucking oath, man.
So sweet, bro.
Fucking oath,
Biggest
bro.
thing for me. We've been together for like 9 years, and
Dude,
the amount
that's
of
amazing.
shit of mine that she puts up with, and the amount of stuff we do together, she's just amazing. So,
And you've already
That's
been
awesome,
talking about
man.
embarking on fucking like international tours, so you got to have a pretty good ride or die for that shit if you're about to take off and do that. So that's
Yeah.
good, man. 9 years.
That's
That's
true.
a serious stint.
Amazing.
All right.
yeah.
Amazing. So, am I the deliverer again?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it this time.
Yeah,
I'll take- I've made you do it a lot lately.
Yeah. I've fucking done it for the last like fucking 5 episodes. So you.
All right, boys. This is the only thing that matters. The rest of the story, all of this shit about the band, no one actually gives a fuck, right?
This is the
that they're
only one.
here- the reason why we get people to tune in for an hour and a half is because they want to know the answer to this question, and that is: would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And why?
I think 100 duck-sized horses would be a bit of fun. Like,
Bit of fun.
you'd enjoy that. Like,
Bit of fun.
That's good.
yeah, like you'd enjoy that a lot more than the alternative. Like, you got them at a good height. You can just like kick them.
Yeah.
You can do some roundhousing and things like that. Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
If you guys can do a song and get all in Kappa tracksuits and fight 100 duck-sized horses, fuck, man, that shit's gonna go just
We'll put it in our intro,
stupid
bro.
viral.
Duck-sized horses is the logical option.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Everyone's
That's
got a
3
duck-sized
from
horse.
3. Fuck you, dude. This guy
Who
wants to
chooses
fight
the other
big-
option?
Me.
This dickhead.
I'll fuck
What?
that big.
saying,
No.
What's the reasoning?
I'll
You'd have to
fucking
have a
fuck
lot of
that big duck
stamina,
up, bro. Ain't got
keep
shit.
going against 100 of them.
Straight rear naked
Fuzzy
choke.
duck, Dazzy fuck, you know what I'm saying? You get fingered by that bad bitch.
Nah, man, I'll be straight under those legs, and then once it's down, I'm on this neck, and that's game over.
You're not
for us.
heel hooking a fucking. You're not gonna heel hook a fucking.
I'm gonna do a fucking Mortal Kombat, do a low leg sweep, right?
All right, Johnny, fucking
Johnny Cage.
Johnny cringe over here.
Johnny cringe.
We're getting quacked. We're getting quacked.
Yeah, you're getting.
But the thing with
Right.
the 100 duck size, the 100 little horses is like, yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll kick him, but there's a fucking 100 of them, man.
He thinks
There's
that
100 of
the
them.
tiny horses are going to form some sort
If
of
you're
like
scared, if
Megatron.
people are like, oh, I'm scared of fucking one duck, I'm scared of one duck. Imagine like a horse, right, which is a lot more aggressive than a duck, right, and there's 100 of them.
He's real defensive because
but-
I just got 3 from 3 in the tally, and
That's a fucking.
But it's
That's
okay.
an
'cause-
8 foot. That's like an 8 foot duck. You finna get those cheeks quacked, my bro.
I'm doing the low sweep. I'm coming from behind with a choke, and that's it. Game
Fucking
over,
work.
bruz.
dude, I'm already the clip of the getting those cheeks quacked is fucking just that's the best. 100 and something episodes, 50 of them we've asked that question. No one said gonna get these.
No
cheeks
one said
quacked,
getting
and
your cheeks
fuck,
quacked.
man, I'm
Not
here
at
for
all.
it. That is
Not with
great.
that kind of confidence.
Well, boys, look, we're edging up to an hour 40. I just want to say a massive thank you for jumping on the pod, for all jumping in as well, and giving us a massive chunk of your time. It's been a lot of fun. I cannot wait for you boys to get down to Adelaide again. If you're a beer drinker, I cannot wait to fucking neck back a couple of brewskis with you when you're down here.
100% we are, my bro.
Early next year, hopefully, man.
Fuck
Fucking
yeah,
oath,
dude.
man.
Yeah,
Not long at
the
all.
Wormholes.
Thank you guys.
crew.
Thank you guys so much for having us. Really.
No, it was a great chat, boys. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to the next song.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
like-
Thank you so
And
much.
shout out to Scott for sending us the message, man, as well. That's what led us to find you boys, and obviously now we're here. So shout out to
Legendary.
coming across us and giving us a shout out as well, man. I appreciate it.
Do you want to give us a little bit of a plug on your links? So where can people find you?
Instagram, Sedative HC, Facebook, Sedative, whatever.
I think it's
Oh,
Oz because you know
YouTube.
how hard it was to tag you motherfuckers trying to I ended up finding out it's Sedative Oz.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, I couldn't find.
I couldn't
Usually
find
go to
his either.
HC, but we've got a link tree where like everything is as well.
Yeah.
So you can go there and check stuff out. And,
YouTube generally sedative band will bring us up.
Okay.
obviously, because sedative is quite an ambiguous word to put into
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
yeah,
well,
man.
All right. Well,
thank
there you
so
go.
much, boys.
Thank you very much.
We'll let you start work now over there. It's fucking still early in the day for you motherfuckers. I need to go.
we got a jam now.
Yeah.
Oh wow! We've kept. So now you're about to go start the
Right.
band pro.
This is
Yeah.
about to be the quickest jam you've ever.
Play one song on. I'm fucking gone home.
well,
I'm done.
We're sorry for keeping you so long, but it's been a blast, boys. We
No,
really,
thanks for having us, man.
really
Absolute pleasure.
appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you down here soon.
Peace out.